weekend, you guys. That went quick, didn't it? I hope you all had a blessed Sunday. Welcome to Abundance of Love Table Talk. Hope your bellies are full. You had your dinner, all relaxed, ready for the show. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Abundance of Love, Self-Healing. Abundance of Love, Table Talk. Hi everyone, how you doing? Glad that you guys have tuned in again. Did you not enjoy last week? I got so much good feedback for last week. It was fantastic. What about you guys?
Honestly, just really supportive. They no bad critique whatsoever. Everyone really loved it.
Yeah.
Good feedback. Even people who wanted to get in contact. So
Yeah.
please.
I thought we would have the phone lines this week, but no, we're not. We want you lot to participate and send in your texts, and just join in with the conversation with us. We've got our secretary here, Omari, and he's going to be writing down everything that you guys are saying and passing on the messages to us. So please do join in, share the show, tell your friends, tell people that we're on. We're brand new. As you know, this is a pilot, and this is the last week actually. It was like this, it's not the last week altogether, but we had last week and this week. We wanted to do a 2-week pilot, and this is the second week. So, as I said to you before, that we're just doing tasters of what is to come on the show, which is going to be in November. We come back in November, big and bad, bold, everything. So we're ready. And if there's any subjects that you guys want us to discuss as well, please feel free to let us know. Send in your messages and just tell us what you want us to talk about. We're very open here, open-minded. So there's no subject that I don't think we will not talk about. But yeah, that's it. So today's show is about spirituality. And as we did say in our advert, that those, a few things we're going to be talking about. So, we're going to touch on it today. I just wanted to start off and just give you a little bit of insight into how I got into spirituality. It was something for me as a child. My parents sent me to church.
And your parents weren't churchgoers?
No, my mum wasn't at first. My mum became one later on in life.
Okay.
But when I was young, we used to go with a church van.
Oh, okay. Like neighbourhood thing, like neighbourhood.
Yeah, the church pastor, or they used to drive round and pick you up for Sunday school.
Okay.
So we used to, every Sunday, we'd get ready, and me and my brother, we'd have to go to church. And we always used to say to my mum, "Why are you not coming to church?" And she used to say, "I'm going to come when it's convention." That's what she used to say. So she used to go anyway.
What denomination, by the way?
It was Pentecostal.
Okay.
Church of God, Pentecostal. And I couldn't understand why my parents wasn't going, but you've got to do what your parents tell you to do. So I went until I was about 16, and then I decided I don't want to go anymore. I don't want to go anymore. I want to do other things. you know, I used to hear my friends talking about going out, raving and all that. So I'm like, no, I want to rave. I want to go out and rave. I don't want to go to church no more. Because obviously you go out on a Saturday, and when you come in on a Saturday morning, you're much up. So you can't get up to go to church, right? So, yeah, I stopped going. And, but there was always something in my mind. I always, as a child, like from the age of 5, I always felt like I'd been here before.
Okay.
I had this feeling like I experienced life before.
Mm.
And I used to have flashes as a child of like being in a field picking cotton.
Mm.
And this big house, you know, like when you live in America in a slavery days.
Like them little house in the prairie house.
No, like a big white house. I don't know if it was a slave master's house or
Okay,
whatever. I don't know, but it was
Mm.
like a big white house.
Mm.
I used to have flashes all the time of it. Flashes
Was
of
this
being
during sleep, or was this like literally?
And they daydreams or
daydream, sleeping. It just used to happen to me all the time. Flashes. And I still get it occasionally now.
did it feel familiar? So as it appeared in
Yes,
your thoughts, did
it
it feel
felt
familiar? Or did
familiar.
you think, what is this? Why
At
am I-
first, obviously, when I was young, I didn't question it. But as I started to get older,
Mm.
I started to question it more. I think, why does this thing, why does it keep coming?
Mm.
But anyway, I started to, as I got older, I started to see more and more.
Mhm.
So, in it, I realised that
Sorry, when you say see more and more, see.
so because of the flashes,
Mm.
you know, you get flashed of like a big house, you get flashes of like the cotton field, you get flashes of me.
So it was almost
There.
like it was building more and
So it
more
was
of a
more and
memory.
more and more. And as I got
Okay.
older, there was more of a picture
Right,
to it.
okay.
Yeah. So I started to get pictures of me going to church,
Mhm.
singing in church,
Mhm.
in a choir, and also being hung.
Really?
I get flashes of being hung,
Mhm.
and I was called a witch. So over the years, that was the build-up
Mm.
of it. So that's as far
And this
as
again was still coming to you in kind of like dreams or
yeah,
daydreams
dreams,
or
flashes,
it didn't matter whether you were
daydreams.
awake or not.
It
You were
didn't
just
really matter.
okay.
It
At the
doesn't
time,
matter.
when you're having these visions, how are you feeling? Do you feel frightened? Do you feel?
And you
What
become
sort of
comfortable
emotions?
with it
Because
now at this point.
because I was getting it from a very young age,
Mm.
I got used to it. So when it was happening, I was like, oh, what is it now? Like, what am I going to see now?
Mm.
You know? So, as I said, you know, that was the picture that, you know, I lived back in, I don't know when it was, 17th century, 14, I don't know when it was. But it was me,
Mhm.
and because I know it's me, and just these pictures, these flashes.
When
and
you
stuff
say
like
it's
that.
you as well, what do you see the body you're in, or does it just feel like you in a different time?
It
Does
just
that make
feels
sense? Are
like
you a
me.
child? Are you an
It
adult?
doesn't look like me. I see myself as like probably like about 15, 16.
Right.
That was the flashes that I've always had.
Mhm.
Nothing as a child,
Okay.
but as like a teenager,
Okay.
and the flashes and all that, picking cotton and
Mm.
having a basket, and
Mm.
you know, I don't remember seeing any parents or anything like that.
Mm.
But it was, you know, and it's always stuck with me. And I always thought to myself, there's got to be more. Why is this happening to me? There must be more to life. This is not just happening.
This is
to
adult
you know,
age
you have-
of the talk.
Yeah, as an adult now.
Yeah.
You know, people say deja vu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but it wasn't like a deja vu.
It was like you lived this
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Mm.
It wasn't like, oh, that happened to me before. No, it's not like that.
Mm.
It was like reliving something, living a life.
A familiar
that
life.
you lived already.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
led you onto a spiritual path. Was it through trying to discover what this thing was that you kept
Yes,
experiencing?
yes. So I started, I went back to church when, about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Okay.
I went to church, went back to church, and got baptized, became a Christian, and thought that I could find out more, as an adult,
Yeah.
learning more about God and spirituality, and but I still, by going to church, I still felt like there was something still missing.
Interesting.
So ultimately, the church wasn't actually answering the
So
question.
it was a church. I mean, I love church. I love going to church. Church is everything for me. But I still felt like there was something missing. I still felt like there's more. There's still more. I don't know how to explain
No,
it. I don't know if you get it.
I understand it somewhat. Has church helped you in any way to feel
Yes, church has helped
the-
me a lot. Church helped me a lot.
in your quest for that bit that's missing? What is it
It
that's
helped
not
me to
bridging?
put some of the pieces together,
Right. Okay.
because as I said, I had flashes of me being in church and singing, and so that kind of thought, okay,
Familiar spirit.
a familiar kind of
Yeah.
thing,
Okay.
that kind of put that together for me,
Mhm.
and then it helped. But then, as I said, I still felt like there's something still
Something more.
more. There's more to it. There's still more to it. And, I started meditating. I just started meditating. I started looking at stuff. This is all happening while we're going through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Start going on the internet more, researching, doing others, looking at stuff and looking at meditation and stuff like that. And I started meditating. And through meditating, it's like a whole new world was opened up for me.
You went within.
I went within, where that's probably where I needed to go before, but I just didn't know how to get there. So
So was that church then, or was it the 2020 time that has done that really?
it's probably a combination of both. I mean, church was still there, it was online, but it wasn't that face-to-face, that closeness,
Interaction.
that interaction. So you kind of felt a little bit distant
Yeah.
from church.
Because that's what I was going to say, because for me, 2020 just opened up so many different doors and things for me in
Yeah.
regards to spirituality.
Yeah.
Things that we would basically think, okay, we know the Bible, we know Christianity, but because then as you said, there's a bit of a distance from it,
Yeah.
it's allowed you to actually explore more
Explore it. Yeah.
different aspects of it, and to be honest, some bits weren't even making sense to me.
Really?
Some bits, I
Yeah.
started questioning a lot more as to what we were taught or told, rather than what's actually within us, like you're
Yes.
saying, already through meditation, which is about searching yourself
So,
and
yes.
what you already have there.
That's right.
That's
So would you say you're a Christian, or what?
I say I definitely believe there's a God. I even question, for me at the moment, my battle is language. As we know, the English language it's like a mixture of so many different languages. It's not an original language.
No.
I think Michelle, you've even said in the past, we used to speak with
Yeah, okay.
sounds rather than even words.
Words.
I feel like our ancestors were more advanced when it comes to communication.
Yeah.
Straight on, they're more
They're
advanced.
still trying to figure out the pyramid. Trust me.
Yeah.
We ain't too up.
So for me, it's just like I think through sometimes you can research too much. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
you have to through
The
meditation.
rabbit hole, isn't it? You kind of keep searching, kind of scared how deep this rabbit hole.
Through
Yeah.
meditation and prayer, you have to really be steered in the right path of what you need to look for.
Yeah.
And some of it's scary. Some of it is very
It
scary.
is scary.
You just think to yourself, well, the conditioning of through time and historically, even the Bible, I've always questioned why do we, have this King James version and the text that we're
Then
using
you've
of
got
it.
Ethiopia.
Yeah.
They've got more in their Ethiopian one, isn't it? Isn't there more?
There's loads more chapters
Yeah.
that
More
we just have been given, and that's my problem. We've been given this chapters. Why are the other ones missing? Because for all we know, those other ones could answer a lot more.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I sit at the minute. I'm a bit.
A little bit on the fence.
And see, so my story, it's interesting you say about, your past and, your experiences of the cotton fields and that. My thing, I think as a child, I always used to believe I could fly. I literally felt I could fly in my dreams. It was just like I had this little rhythm thing and I could fly. And I truly believed it. And I can't remember to what age that I actually decided that we should get going nowhere. And also, as well as the flying one, I remember at my grand's house where we lived, I think I was about maybe 6, and I used to dream about this massive snake in a bath. Now I know spiritually snake is not a good thing, but I don't, as a child I didn't understand that dream. But in my adult life, I've also had dreams of snakes and stuff, and anytime I dream of like reptilians or any reptilians, snakes, lizards, anything like that, I know something good ain't coming. So it's sort of warning. So all these things is learning and trying to discover, just getting myself on a path that I'm like, okay, if I dream that, I know that now I have to get myself prepared, get more prayed up, more, focused because something is coming. But yeah, so I didn't grow up in the church. I wasn't forced to go to church or anything like that. I believe my family is very spiritual in the fact that we're either dreamers or we predict, or there's always there's something. And my gran especially, like I think she stems from her. And even with me, I think as a child, I used to see things like I remember a time I was sleeping in my mom's bed, and I think I was writing these invitations for I think I was having a little party or something, but I just remember I was writing in a red pen, so I don't even know if it symbolises anything, and I was writing up my friend's name. I was like, oh yeah, this one can come, that one can come, and I must have dozed off. And as I dozed off, I opened my eyes, like, oh, you like to say, maybe I should get ready for bed. And I saw this lady laying there next to me. And I was just like, and for me, it was just like, first I thought, oh, maybe it's my mum there. And obviously, if anyone who I've told this story to, they're like, oh no, it must have been somebody in your family. But for me, the thing that really frightened me about it, because I think, had it just stayed and didn't move, I would have been like, oh, okay, maybe I'm dreaming. But this...
Did it try to stroke you?
No, it smiled.
A big smile.
So there was a movement, and that freaked me out.
Cry?
Cry, scream, I ran. I remember running into my grandma. I was like, oh, it was horrible. And that has stayed with me to this day, like, until... And then I think another time, I'm sure I've told you about this before.
I'm laughing because you told me that one. That's one of my favourite stories of what you just told.
But another one where I think it was an ex-partner, and I literally was going through something, and I remember I was in this accommodation I was staying in, and I was crying, no, I don't know what's happening, why is this happening with us, and whatever. And then I was like, oh God, if you're real, show me a sign. And I just remember feeling, and since then I don't question. So I know for now there's God, whatever you want to call it. I know that we we are created. We're so designed in such a unique and special
Intricately, every last thing.
It ain't no big bang version of whatever. That's my beliefs. I know there's something, but for what it is exactly, maybe I will never know in this lifetime.
No.
But
So do you guys, in terms of Christianity, because I'm not a Christian,
Yeah.
when you guys speak of God or you speak of Jesus, is there gender on that? Is he male? Is he like, what does he look like? Does he look like something? Is he personified? Like, what is it that you feel when you are, is it a he, is it a she, does it not matter? Like, do you get what I mean?
The spirit. I
But
feel like it's spirit.
So is there an energy, masculine, feminine
Yeah,
energy of it?
it doesn't have, there's no gender. I don't feel there is a gender. Although we like to, for me, people like to refer of God as a man.
Our Father.
Our Father.
Yeah.
As a man, a creator.
Mm.
But for me, it's a spirit. God is everywhere. God is not just in one place. God is not man. Right? So for God not to be man, God has got to be a spirit, and God has to be man and woman. Yeah? That's what I feel. Because for him to create woman, yeah, he created man, created woman. For me, I just feel that he's everything.
Well, the
It
Bible
is.
says you're making his image, so
That's
therefore
right.
it has to be that.
No gender.
Yeah, no
So
gender.
therefore, with those words, surely then I am God. I'm made in his image, so I am God. I mean, technically,
Yeah, some people
you are
call
co-creator of
themselves
life.
the I am. I mean, people say I am the I am, and that is what they called God, the I am. Called
Yeah.
Jesus the I am.
Okay.
Yeah? So, you could say that you are. Some people do say, I know lots of people, lots of men that say, I am God. Me is God.
My granddad used to say that.
Yeah, I know lots of men that say that
Hey.
they are God. They
Yeah.
say, me is man, me are God.
Yeah.
There's no other God more than me. God is in me, so that means that I am God. That's what some people think.
So then when you're praying, because obviously you meditate as well, and I understand
Yes,
meditation.
I do a lot of
It's
meditation.
about just kind of going with
Yeah.
it. But in my mind, when I think of prayer, I struggle with it because I feel like I'm giving power to something outside of me, which makes me powerless. Does that make sense? So, only from what I've been taught. So obviously, I'm not a Christian, but I grew up. My mum and dad my dad will speak of the Most High. He will never say God or what have you.
Yeah.
He will say the Most High. Mum was Christian, but due to her work and things, she was a nurse and shifts and things like that. She was never a regular girl. She always had her Bible and she would pray and what have you. So I was either, I say forced, but it was forced. It wasn't a choice. I didn't get a choice. I either went to church with my auntie Ruby, an older auntie, and she went to, it was predominantly white, that church. They were a Baptist church.
Yeah.
Just went because that's what I had to do on a Sunday. God forbid I try and put on a trousers, I'd be in trouble. You had to put on a little dress or a skirt, and your church.
That's how it was. I mean, church is totally different now.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
No, not in my day. Not in my day. If I
No,
even
not in
thought
my
I
day.
could put on a trousers, I would know what time it was. I wouldn't even try.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't going to church with her, I had my paternal grandmother. She went to a church in Haringey. It was a 7-day event, so she was a Saturday.
Oh, yes.
That already threw me off because that one we're going on a Sunday, and this one we go on a Saturday. And when I'm at Nanny's house on a Friday to Sabbath, I can't watch TV. Why can't I watch TV? I'm sure God won't like if I just watch Rugrats. I had questions. I remember from really early on, I had questions, and what I would have really appreciated looking back, if someone took the time to answer me rather than punishing me for having those questions.
Yeah.
So I remember being about 15, obviously at the rebellious stage. I've gone and I've pierced my nose and I've gone up to my paternal grandma's house, and she looked at me and she said, you pierced your nose like you're a bull. She was going on and on about the Bible, and I remember being a little bit high-chested. Well, if God's so loving and so surely if I'm a good person, a hole in my nose ain't going to change. Ooh, Don't challenge her, God. Don't challenge her, God. But I knew to just. She's told me so many times. It's like God first, then I love you, lot, and then like do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's everything to her. Right about now, in her opinion, everything that's gone on in the past sort of 18, 19 months of the pandemic is preparing for the return of Jesus Christ. She's so adamant. So adamant, and we've had combos about it.
I kind of feel that something big and major is going to happen. I feel that too, but something significant. I
believe
and
that
I feel
too.
that there is a lot more to come.
Actually,
Did you not?
you
I'm
don't
not
disagree
trying to tell you
with
something,
it.
but did you not hear those things?
Oh,
Those
last
big things
week.
that came over the house. Even one came over the house today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you not hear
Well, I
it?
didn't hear today,
Mhm.
but I
Why?
didn't hear the day that it did come. But however, it brought me back. I think it happened maybe about a year ago or something.
Yeah.
And then they tried to say, oh, it was a sonic boom, and then others were saying, no, it's some kind of plane. But I didn't even research what the sonic boom and all that
I have
was.
no faith in the media. Anything they
No,
tell me,
no.
I know they're lying. So.
Well, I feel that something is coming. Something we're changing. The world's evolving. It's changed, and something
Mm-hmm.
is coming. Yes, and Christian. You know, you believe in Christianity. You feel that okay, this is end times. This is it. This is when, because you know, Jesus is coming back to reign. You know, he's come back to reign.
Okay,
This is
just
Satan's
that
reign
moment.
now. They say this is. I'm just telling you what it says.
Oh, what they're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is Satan's reign now,
Yeah.
and that Jesus will be coming back, and he'll be coming back to reign for X amount of time, and then, you know, God will come and just clean up the earth or whatever. I personally feel that this, what we're living on, here what we are, is heaven and earth. Because you can live like hell here. You could be in turmoil. Your life could be a total misery. You could be so miserable right here. And on earth here, you could be as happy as anything. You can have a wonderful life and you could be happy. So I'm just saying what I personally feel, that this is heaven and earth.
I don't know what I feel this is. I just know that there are
Like,
different realms.
There are different realms.
There's different realms. The Bible mentions them as well.
Yeah.
And that's why the Bible is a good book for history, it's a good book for understanding stuff. Again, I'll go on to the fact that I question why bits were left out, why things have been altered, or, you know, that sort of thing. But I don't know what I believe this realm is, to be fair. I get what you're saying in regards to you can live, and, you know, I feel choices we make in life sometimes
got a lot
to
to do with it.
because somebody could think, okay, I've got all the money in the world and that's going to make me the happiest, like I'm in a heaven.
Can't
But
make
here
that
there is hell.
suicide with all the money in the
That's it,
world.
Exactly.
So, no,
People
that's
all
not
kill
the answer.
themselves. Look how many rich people, look how many celebrities. They kill themselves. They got money, they got this, they got that. But
Yeah.
what's missing? What's missing in them? Something missing.
Just to go back, and I'm so sorry that I keep zigzagging, but you know you were saying like the whole period of Satan reigns and that Jesus Christ will come and it'll be his reign, and this is kind of like the end. In order to have new, you have to end old.
Yeah.
That kind of. What I struggle to understand when I speak to people of said faith, I wouldn't sit down with my nan again without causing any disrespect or any like, you know, you don't want to I respect everybody's thoughts and, you know. Are we waiting for someone physical to come back? Do we? But because the way she speaks is though she thinks she's gonna bust open her curtain one morning and he's just gonna fling down on the. I would love to know, like, what is it that we like? What is it that we say?
The older people perception is totally different from the younger generation.
Right.
And then, is it?
I think back in a day,
Yeah.
in my parents' time, a lot of them could not read and write properly. So they relied on whatever they heard or whatever the pastor said. They believed.
So that's dangerous to me.
Yeah, but that's how it was. There wasn't nothing else for them to compare. Like now, we've got the internet, we've got different things, we can research, we can look up things. You know, some people back in the day, they used to feel that the pastor was God.
Well, it still happens.
And even now, some people still feel like pastor is God. Yeah? People, although they've got the facilities now to go out and do research, some of them don't.
Human beings, we can be quite lazy. We can
Exactly.
have all the things in front of us to make it accessible to, you know, the saying, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
It really, really is, you know.
Yeah.
That how many of us are willing to pick up the book? How many of us are willing to? It's one thing to do a couple of Google searches, but how many of us are really willing to go deep?
Deep,
But it's
and-
easier
yeah.
for someone to just tell us the answer and we accept. And there's no challenge in
That's
that.
the easy way out, isn't it? That's always the easy way out for anything, not even just for church. That is for anything. I mean, you know, somebody says, oh yeah, there's 20,000 men marching down the road. People say, you know, there's 20,000 men. So if they go and look at it and see, they'll say, oh, you know, they here say 20,000 men live on the road there. They don't know.
This is why, to an extent, I struggled with Christianity as a whole. And I promise no disrespect to anybody, and I respect everybody for we're all different. But from a very early age, I questioned Christianity. Maybe I didn't know how to articulate, but I questioned it.
Yeah.
It was something that wasn't a choice. I was just told this is what you believe and this is what you do. I think both grandparents on both sides of the family, that's what they do. This is what we do. We go to church and we don't question nothing. And as I got older, 16 for me was a get out of jail card. Like, as you said, raving became a thing of going out with friends and working. So I could say, you know what, I'm working on Sunday, no church for me either. I got to a point where I was so frightened because of years of conditioning that if I dared say I don't believe in your God, I don't believe in your Bible, that I was going to go to this place called hell and that all my family would be there in heaven and I'd be floating away, burning in hell. Fear kept me in a belief. Imagine that. It wasn't because I had a genuine love in my heart. It's not even because I truly believed what I was being told. Fear kept me there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until last year, 2020, I call 2020 the year of clarity in so many ways. Clear vision, 2020 is what they say the opticians, isn't it?
Yeah,
2020 vision.
vision.
That's when I started to look at things. I said, hold on a minute. Some things are just not adding up. And you start to see this is not adding up. You start to apply it to different parts of your life, whether it's what was going on, obviously, socially with the world, whether it was relationships, like how you're interacting with the people about. I just started to question everything. And I struggled even from a young age of saying, hold on, if the Bible was written over a period of time, firstly I struggled with why there's so many denominations if we all believe that this is the word of God, because it goes down to now, but I guess interpretation, we're all just, this is the issue then, isn't it? Because it can't be the word of
Just
God,
all
but
breakaway. They're breakaway because everybody has free will. So because you believe in something, don't mean I've got to believe in something. What I believe in, you might not believe in, and neither would you. So everybody goes under their own understanding.
Yeah, but the main thing is we hold the Bible and we say the Bible is the word of God. And if the word of God is the word of God, then we surely just all believe the word of God. Why have we now got so many different variations?
Because of the breakaway. Because you have Muslims, you have different, because everybody's got free will. And everybody feels that what they believe is the right thing. Yeah? You can't tell the next person that what they believe in is wrong. I can't tell you what you believe in is wrong. You can't tell me what I believe in is wrong. It's a personal choice.
And I get that. I absolutely get that. But my original point was just showing you why I struggled with it. Because in my mind, if we all can agree that this is a phone, then it's a phone. There don't need to be 12 different ways.
But nobody ever agrees though.
No, I'm just saying why I question it.
Yeah.
Then I also thought about the period of time in which the Bible apparently was put together, and I thought, well, if we play Chinese whispers in a room, what you start off with isn't what you end with. Things will be missed out, misinterpreted, embellished, so forth. So how could it be the word of God? Like, do you know what I mean? There were just so many things that had me questioning it. The difficulty I had is there wasn't a forum for me to voice that I had these questions. If I sit down and I think, about a couple of months ago, I went to Nanny's house, and again I made the mistake. I did it when I was 15, and now in my 30s, and I checked with even bigger. So Nanny, you see, when it comes to like the Egyptians and things there, and astrology and all of them things there, there's evidence of my thing. Where's evidence of your thing? Oh my God, I just started neatened up myself. No, I'm just saying that because I'm sure they found the books in Sarah. I can bring it back and just say sorry.
Yeah.
But this is my point. Like, there's no conversation. It's just this is it, and you must accept what it is. And I've got a problem with that. I don't want information we can discuss. We can help me to understand. What I don't want is someone forcing someone. Just tell me, just because you tell me it doesn't mean it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I've got an opinion on that because it reminds me of a situation I went through as well. Laverne saying you ladies are really inspiring. So thank you, Laverne. Thank you. And she was going to call in, but I think it's unfortunate.
No, we haven't got the phone lines. Not
But
today.
message your questions.
But message your question if you want to speak. If you want to put a question to us, you can do. When we come back in November, we will be kicking with the phone line. So just send in your any questions, or if you just want to contribute, just send us a text message.
But yeah, what I was going to say, what you reminded me of, well, this would have been back in anyway, about 2006.
How long were we there?
We were So basically, I started going to this church, a lovely set of people. They were predominantly Ugandan, very rearing for God, Jesus, Bible, everything. And I got baptized again, thinking it's the right thing to do. So say that happened in January. I got baptized at the church. My husband, who was obviously my friend at the time, he was there. And he attended, and we were just still talking and times and very supportive. And he was an Adventist, so he used to go to the church and then ask questions like, "Okay, so why do you guys not bring on the Sabbath and all of that?" And he was constantly met with, "Look, we're not here to discuss that." It's almost like the same thing you're saying. Here it is. Just believe that. Don't ask the questions. So that then started making me question things, saying, well, why don't you have an answer for that? And also the way your attitude was around it, like, to me that wasn't sitting right. And I always said, so I did become an Adventist, and I was never forced, I never was made to think, well, you're going to marry an Adventist. But for me, it's always about what I observe and what I research and learn. And at that time, it was a case of, I observed my husband and I just thought I liked his attitude. It was always about being open and never forcing anything. And so consequently, I got baptized in the January, and then I got baptized in the May into the in 1 year.
You got baptized twice.
Well, two different denominations. But do you see the thing? This is where it becomes a bit like ritualistic, and it's almost like that wasn't necessary. I was still the same person. But again, just to almost get into that club. Now I have to do this. And so again, and I remember him asking one lady from the church as well a question, and she probably had to go at him, and that was my point.
It's almost like, how dare you critical?
She said something like, "Oh, I know you're just going to come here and ask these kind of questions." And as we were leaving the church, they were having a service, and they were talking about different beasts in the Bible, like Leviathan and Wormwood, and it felt like it was about me. It was so uncomfortable. So that was like goodbye, definitely.
Wow. Do we have another? Is there another question?
Okay, so Laverne says, "Oh, she needs the number."
You need the number. Let's go with
Just send it on the Facebook, please.
Or inbox it if you don't have a broadcast. It's okay.
Yeah. So, What was I going to say? I'm going to say something now. I've lost my train of
So we're
thought.
talking about you. So you've been baptized in the January, then
Baptized
baptized again in the
Oh,
May.
yes, I didn't know you got baptized twice.
What's happening?
I was holier than holy. But yeah, so again, it's just that to me, if a denomination isn't open to questions,
Yeah.
be concerned.
Yeah.
Be concerned, because why do you not want to be asked questions? It's not cult. You shouldn't feel like
Yeah.
if I, like you say, your feelings of I'm going to hell, I'm going.
Honestly, that was the thing. I wouldn't dare say there was no God in fear. That I said those words, and I've been
Yeah.
taught that you will drop
Yeah,
down
you're
and
gonna be
you are going to hell.
Well, I believe there's God. You know, I
Yeah,
don't want to say I don't believe that there's no God. I believe that there is God. I know that, you know, there's certain things that have happened to me. I've been sustained. There's so much things that happen that I know that it's got to be somebody.
Oh, I believe
Yeah.
in a higher
And I know
energy.
there's a higher.
Absolutely.
And for me, the name that I choose to call is God.
Mm.
I mean, there's lots of people choose to call other names.
Ja.
But
Yeah.
Yahweh.
Yeah.
All different
Yeah.
names. But the name I choose is
Mm.
God.
Mm.
So other people, as I said, they use different. But I know that there's so much that is done for me. There's supernatural things that have happened.
The warnings, being
The
prepared for
dreams.
things.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's loads of things that have happened. And I know there is a higher being. And I choose to call the higher being God. That's what I choose. And that's who I believe in. Because I know that he's real. And because he sustained me, he's helped me. He's done so much for me. And I said, I will never turn my back and say, oh, no, I don't believe, or I don't. That's my personal thing. Because everybody, that's why that we all got free will.
Absolutely.
You know, God does not force anybody to do anything they don't want to do. It's man that forces you.
Is it important for you guys, like in terms of like your partners and things like that? Was it important that they were 7-day Adventists? Actually, you became a 7-day Adventist.
Yeah. For me,
If they weren't Christian, would that be a problem?
My first husband was a Muslim,
Okay.
so but I never ever wanted to convert.
And he obviously respected that.
And
he
he
would have met you.
respected
You
that,
weren't
but
Muslim
his
when he
family,
met
his
you.
mom, his dad, the whole everybody were Muslims. But they were from Jamaica, but they, converted to being Muslims when they came to England.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I met him, he was a Muslim.
Hmm.
You know, name was changed and everything. They didn't have their birth names. They had totally different
But where
names.
you are in life now, was it important for you, your partner, to be the same, or did it not matter?
Now, because I'm remarried,
Yeah.
it was important that my husband knew God, because I know previously I was with someone for 8 years and I could not mention nothing, no God, no nothing. It was like, he used to say he was God. I said, are you talking about me? It was just so arrogant. But anyway,
I'd like to know why his views were that, and again, I want to dig deeper into
Yeah,
it.
he used to say the Bible is not true. There's a load of rubbish in it. Man has changed it over the years.
I
We're
agree.
not saying
I
that
won't
there
lie.
was an
I
original
agree
Bible,
with what you say.
but what we believe in now is not. You know,
I
he
kind
even
of agree with him.
yeah, and he even said, you know, he was the one that said to me, "Did you not know that Adam had another wife?" I was like, "What wife? What are you talking about? He's his wife." He said, "Yeah, he was his wife, but he had another wife before Eve."
I've heard this, but this is the problem with,
Yeah, and
with
so
the civilization.
yeah, and I didn't
and
know
it-
that. And he goes, "Do your research." And look, when I look, I did see there was somebody.
So see, this is the thing. It's
Yeah, but
maybe
in
the
church,
way
they never speak about this other woman.
maybe the way he responded to you put you off, but realistically,
Yeah.
he clearly had some valid conversation.
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
Yeah,
You know, to
yeah.
be had.
And it was able, it was thought provoking enough for you to go off and look it up.
Yeah,
But I
you
feel,
know, I mean, in these days, we're able to go and research.
yeah,
So
yeah.
can you imagine back in our parents' days or whatever? They were able to.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't want to upset anybody, but I do. I feel like Christianity is a religion that was just
But I
given
don't.
to us,
But I know.
and it's become
I don't believe in-
generational.
I don't believe in religion.
Alright, let me read this question because it might.
Okay.
So it says, do you think we just go along with everything because our parents wanted us to? When you are young, you are very impressionable and do as you are told.
True.
As you get older, you make up your own mind and try to work it out for the best.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely,
True.
absolutely.
Really true.
mhm.
Definitely.
And also, there's a sense of respect. I mean, I think more so, I don't want to sort of generalize, but I think in the Islamic faith, there's a more of a respect towards their parents and
Yeah.
going along with that faith.
Yeah.
Because almost they're ridiculed, they're seen as, you know, an outcast if you're not
Yeah.
following
You're not
that.
following.
that
But
faith.
you see the fear behind
The
it.
fear.
Everything's so fear-based, and I've
Yeah.
got a problem with that. I've got a massive problem with fear being the main driver to keep you in
Yeah.
check. It just becomes a point of control, doesn't it?
And just to shout out Mildred, she says, hey Margie, I'm enjoying the conversation.
Hey, Mildred. Hey, how you doing? I'm glad you're enjoying it. We need more feedback. Come on, you guys. We've got about 10 minutes. 10
minutes already?
10 minutes left.
Oh wow!
15 minutes. 15 minutes left for the show.
Oh wow!
But yeah,
Go on, quick.
the fear, I think this is the problem. I think why you shouldn't ever feel, something should feel so natural that there's no fear behind it. And if you even change your mind,
Yeah.
you shouldn't feel like, you know, you're going to go to
Yeah.
hell, as you were saying,
Mm,
hell.
mm. It's that bit, but it was so also consuming that I genuinely thought, oh god, I wouldn't dare say there's not a God just in case it strikes me. But like,
Yeah.
that fear was strong.
Yeah.
It took until I think I got to a point. So by 16, I was done with church. I'd always had my questions from young. On any given day, you'd ask someone to get shut down, get tired of asking stuff, and they just shut you down. So you just think, nah. Then I thought, okay, it's not so much that I got to a point. I think maybe mid-20s where I'd say, oh, religion's just another way to divide the people after gender, after this, after race, da 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 da. Just another thing to separate us. You've got the Muslims over there, you've got the, and I kind of went on that flex for a while.
Yeah.
However, just like you lot, I am a dreamer. I do feel that when I was younger, whilst I don't have memory of it, I feel like I suppressed something that scared me. So when I was younger, I would have, I don't know if they were like nightmares. Mum said one time, and I kind of only remembered it because she told me, but it wasn't my own memory. She said I came flying out of my bedroom, ran down the stairs, it was the early hours of the morning, nearly knocked her down the stairs because I was so frightened, and got into the front room in light. Now the average person would say, baby, you just had a nightmare. But she said it was, I was, whatever it was, it was so
terrified.
up in there, and I was scared. So I was an anxious baby. I came out being an anxious baby. Put me in a room full of people I don't know, and I'm barling. I feel like that got something to do with my past life. I came into this world.
Do you feel like you was here before?
100%. 100. Okay. The difficulty that I've got is that unlike you two, I've got very specific things, like you remember the house and you know, remember that you knew you could fly. These are big. I don't, it's just like a compass in my stomach that tells me, I'm not arguing with you, I've been here before, but it's almost like I've forgotten some things.
Yeah.
So I'm having to do work, whether it's meditation, whether it's just stripping things back to try and get back to remembering. I don't have clear memory, but I feel like whatever I did have memory of scared me, and so I suppressed it from very early on. Very early on. But yeah, I believe in past lives, I believe in reincarnation, I believe in...
I believe in reincarnation as well. I believe that, you know, it's, you know, as I said, go back to the Bible, it says world without end. The world never ends, and it keep on going.
It is, you think, I think it's in the Bible where it talks about the spirit returning to God. So I always thought, okay, so if the spirit returns to God, then does the spirit come back?
Yeah.
Last year when the film Soul came out, That was
Oh,
really
telling me
you need
about
to
that.
watch that, you know. There's
It's a
some gems in
cartoon.
there,
It's
you
a
know.
cartoon, but
Some
Has
gems.
any of you guys seen that?
If you
that
haven't
movie?
watched
Is it a movie?
it's a cartoon.
Walt Disney. It's got
Walt
some
Disney, and
gems
it's called,
in
what
there.
is it called? Soul.
So
Yeah.
but it's so interesting because it basically is that story that this guy, he's living his life and he's not learning a lesson really, is it?
So he's living his life. His dream is to be like, I think, like one of the top jazz players or
Yeah.
something. Do you know, like he thinks, I was put on this earth to do this. There's no question about it. Something happens and he dies, and does he come back in the next? Well, he comes back as a cat, doesn't he?
Is it a cat? I can't even
Yeah,
remember.
remember he had to get the other girl to
Oh
use
yes,
his body.
yes, yeah.
But the point is, throughout the movie, you understand that the issue isn't the issue. The issue, you're there thinking life's all about you. I think he gets a chance to do this really big thing that he
Yeah.
thought would mean I'd hit the pinnacle of life,
It's pretty cool.
and yet he was so empty.
Mhm.
And then, throughout watching the film, you kind of understand that it's the little things, it's the journey of life that is the real treat, as opposed to us, you know, like you sit there and you say, when I get this mortgage, or when I get married, or when I do this, without understanding that every step, every day, we're here to evolve, and unfortunately, if we, you see how they call university, I think of the universe when I think of
The
university,
universe,
like
yeah.
this is
It's
cool.
open.
Learning.
And if
Yeah.
you're not evolving, you ain't passed. You didn't get that degree.
Yeah.
You better come back and do it again, because and until you get it right, you're gonna keep reincarnating and having the same lessons until
That's
you
what I
learn.
think.
That's
I
pretty
think
sitting
about
here
that.
now. We never learned our lesson clearly.
Well, I am hard-headed.
We're living that same life over again, so obviously there was something that we did not learn, so we had to go over it again. So what
Like,
do you think it is?
who knows? Who knows? I'm a rule breaker. I like a loophole, as we know. I don't know. It could be a whole array of things. But I do believe, like from the minute we enter into this world, we sign contracts, so we know what our purpose
Yes,
was.
yes,
We
we
chose
do.
our
I
parents,
think
we
that.
chose everything. And then I think sometimes through the foods we eat, the environments that we're in, we start remembering less and moving away from the alignment of why we were
Of
truly
our
here.
purpose.
Yeah.
Because there's a
yeah.
purpose of us being here, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a purpose.
Absolutely.
We're not just
Not
here
for
just to
fun,
just live
yeah.
and just dead, you know.
But when you're
It's
saying
a
this to the wrong set of people, they can look at you like you're mad or you're
Yes,
lazy.
well you do. When you're awakened, people do look at you like you're mad because not everybody's awakened.
I know my
Besides
sister
just being-
think I'm nuts. Like,
And you know,
I
there's a
know
lot
my
of
sister
people
I'm
think
nuts.
you're crazy.
Okay, so Laverne says, the ladies are on point. I identify so much with what you are saying. Watch James Brown film 2, it explains a lot. Interesting. Okay.
James Brown.
Film, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The research.
James Brown.
Look at
The
that.
singer James Brown.
I'm
Who's the
assuming
singer
so,
James
Laverne, is
Brown.
that correct?
Is that correct, Laverne?
It's not the
Let us
public
know.
speaker guy. What's he called? No, that's Les Brown. The motivational speaker. I like Les
Oh,
Brown.
Yeah, I like Les Brown.
Do you know about Les Brown? Yeah. Oh, do you know what? Reverend Ike as well.
Yes.
Oh, I love one
Yeah.
of them in the morning. Biblical affirmations.
Yes, I listen to
Okay.
those in the morning.
Yeah. But ultimately, I mean, it's really difficult to work with Joe because you can go left, right, and centre.
I know. And you know one thing I wanted to ask as well? You know, anytime anything happens, people always say, oh my God. Why do people say that?
Because they're copycats and we just copy
Yeah.
what's been said before us. Language is.
Why do people say, oh, why did you do this, God? Why? If something happens...
Because it removes responsibility from self. I'm not gonna lie, it removes responsibility. It's not enough to say this has happened because of my actions or what I've done. It's easier for humans to feel better about themselves and their situation if it's an external force that has control over it because it means
Yeah,
it's
but,
then not
but
my
people
fault.
know about God and people know about Satan.
Yeah.
Because everybody... So why everybody goes, oh, Satan, why did you do this?
Yeah, I suppose in their
Oh,
The devil's head
Oh,
is trick of making you
Satan.
believe he didn't exist,
Oh,
right?
you know, it's like... I always think
But
about
some
that.
people do as well just blame things on Satan. And that I have a problem with too, because
Yeah, because
there's-
I think we can say to too much credit. as
Yeah.
well.
That all call out him name, and we don't need to call out him name.
But again, like certain circumstances you may go through, it could be your choice why you're there, you know. But people will, it's shifting the blame. It's like, oh, let's blame something. We're blame Satan then. That's why these things happen.
I think it sounds so ignorant. I don't mean to offend. I think it's lazy. Lazy to blame anybody but yourself. I feel like we come to Earth, we have this human experience. The whole aim is to evolve. Usually we evolve by going through things. Sometimes you can feel like you're on the ground. You don't even know how you're going to get yourself back up.
Yeah.
And it's only when you don't think you've got that strength, you find a strength you didn't even know you have. But as we evolve and we grow, we move forward and we push forward. I'd like to believe that what we were thinking and the things that we loved and thought about, or the mindset that we had at 25, could have possibly be the same at 35 if you're
35
moving
or
and
40 or
evolving
50.
and reevaluating. And that's the beauty of life for me.
Yeah.
The good, the bad and the ugly.
Yeah.
So the idea that if anything bad happens, oh my God, or blame the devil. No, we need to start taking responsibility for ourselves.
Yeah, because I
Lazy
think I think
to
about
say
it.
that.
People always say, "Oh God, oh God, oh God,
Yeah.
oh Satan, get down." I'm like, why?
Giving too much power.
Why?
Too
Why?
much
Give
power.
me the power like that. Why?
And the people need the power of their words, man. Just be careful what you're
But you know,
speaking.
I'm to blame as well because I say it as well. But I
You say, "Oh my
wonder
gosh."
I
I
say, "Oh my
say,
gosh," or I say, "Satan, not today."
But
I
why
say
do you
things
say
like
that? Why do you say that?
It's not
I
behavior.
want to know why people say it. Because
Learned behavior.
I'm to blame
Mm.
as well. Because I say it as well. And I feel that I do sometimes give him too much praise. By saying, sometimes it's one frustrating your thing, you know.
Mhm.
Say, listen, don't go down that road, that's not for you.
Mhm.
Don't do it.
Why is everything not going right in the morning?
Yeah.
You're trying to get out,
Yeah.
and then every obstacle comes in place. The next minute you hear some accident was out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember being really quickly, because I think we've got a couple of minutes left. Really quickly, I was on a plane coming back from Barbados. I went to my cousin's wedding, and the plane got out of control. And the plane started going down like this.
I love that
That's like
But the noise was what?
That was the noise.
Oh
like this. It was like this. And it was like this. Like this. And then all of a sudden it started hearing something, because, you know, black people's on there.
praying.
They just hear some holy prayers. God, Jehovah, God, oh God. We're not against something. I mean, I was sitting between, beside a couple, so white people sat beside them and everything, and the man was trying to hug me and the white. I was terrified. I just started praying, and they were going, sit down, see me jump up on top of it. No, you have to sit up on somebody, Father. Give me all the prayers and the glory. No, I had to put on a piece of prayers.
How long did it last
And then it seemed like an eternity. But then
That was
all of
4
a sudden,
Seconds.
all of a sudden, the plane, what you didn't see, you never heard no captain. No stewardess. Nobody came out to say, "Stop, put your seatbelts on." Put your, nobody. Everybody was sitting like this. But the captain never spoke. And all of a sudden, after we prayed, and then the plane was lifted up like this. Started going up, climbing up, climbing up, climbing up, climbing up. And this little boy said, "Oh, at least they're not dead, Mum."
Wow.
Oh, see, flying. That is, you're putting.
I mean, when I got off the plane and when I got to the car, my brother was there, my son was there. They said, "Why'd you look like this?"
If only you knew. If only.
He said, "You look like Deadpool." I said, "You don't know."
But you don't even know what you avoided, what that
Exactly.
pilot avoided in the sky. You just don't know. And that gets talking onto a whole other subject, because if you even think about the whole plane journey and anyway, next episode.
Next episode, I think our secretary is giving us time out.
We love you, Barbie. We're done.
Got it. So that's us for the pilot. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I totally enjoyed it. I want to thank the girls here,
Thank you.
For joining in with the table talk. As I said, this is the pilot, and we will be back in November. Look out for more information on that. As I said, please share and like the show. And you can still make comments. We will answer your comments as they come in. So we want to say thank you guys so much for being with us today on this Sunday. And I hope you got something from what we discussed today. I hope you could relate to us as well. I'm sure loads of you could. But yeah, we just want to say thank you guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And thanks for joining the pilot. So we will see you in November. Not sure of the date yet, but it'll be soon. So thank you guys once again. Take care.
Have a great week.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic week. And we will see you guys in November. Bye. You know we like to dance, don't we? Take care, see you guys. Bye.
Have a good one, guys. Have a good week.
Bye. Bye.